Yosa here with today's instalment of Natural Resilience and Stay Sane with Claire. Now, I hope you enjoyed yesterday's session, which was all about which of the two types of fear you are feeling and how fear affects the body, our emotions, our thoughts, and our actions. If you've not watched it yet, it's well worth a watch because it will make today's episode even more useful for you. So, today I want to talk to you about how to press pause on that fear cycle. So yesterday we talked about legitimate fears, which are the genuine kind of, I'm walking along a cliff path and it's really windy and my body wants to keep me safe. And mind story fears and dramas. These are the stories we tell ourselves, that 3 a.m. self-talk, the what ifing, the diving into the soap opera in our heads. When we are surrounded by the negativity, the fear, the uncertainty and the chaos in times like we're going through now with the UK not called a lockdown, it's very easy for the tone of that self-talk, that inner radio station, to be tuned to negative thinking. That, as we discussed yesterday, has a knock-on effect for the body. A fear-based worry thought triggers biochemical reactions in the body for the fight, flight, freeze response. That then feeds our emotions, that feed our thoughts, and very quickly we've gone down that rabbit hole and we spend a whole day in worry and anxiety. Now, if you're one of the millions who's currently trying to work from home, as well as potentially juggling childcare or anything else that's going on in your life, if you're stuck in the fight, flight, freeze response and what's called the sympathetic nervous system, terrible word for it, it's really not very sympathetic, yeah? The sympathetic nervous system, which is our emergency stress response, if that is fired the whole time, then it's really hard to think straight. When the fight, flight, freeze is running, when the sympathetic nervous system is high, it fires off adrenaline, cortisol, stress hormones that are meant to run for a very short period of time, minutes to an hour or two, while we decide whether or not to run from that saber-toothed tiger. As a result, the body will divert the blood flow from the frontal cortex in the brain that does your brilliant thinking to the primal survival part that only cares about whether you can get up the tree before the attacker. If you're trying to concentrate and you're trying to work and you've got these distractions running in the background and you've got these thoughts running in your head, the likelihood of you being able to concentrate and work effectively is really, really low. Not to mention the effect these fear-based thoughts have on the body and the immune system. When we're in the fight, flight, freeze response, the body's not sitting there thinking, oh yeah, cellular regeneration and physical healing really need to work on that right now. It diverts resources from self-healing, from cellular regeneration, from even digestion to the major muscle groups to get us ready to run in an emergency. So these stress thoughts actually depress the immune system, which is the last thing in the world we want right now. So there are things that you can do on a physical level to reset the sympathetic nervous system. And one of those is meditation and deep relaxation, which is why those of you on my Natural Resilience program get my Meditation Made Easy training as part of it. 10 minutes a day means that instead of our stress doing this all day, it does this and it comes back down. And it does this and it comes back down. Huge positive effects for meditation on a daily basis right now. You can do work with the emotions. I have something I call EFT Reimagined, a tapping sequence that I use with clients to help them clear out stuck emotions from the body and the mind really quickly. But that's not something that's easy for me to teach right now in a short session. So today, the technique I want to give to you is my ABC to press an immediate pause on negative thinking. And to help you through this, I've got a download for you that is my gift. It is an MP3 of this ABC process and a downloadable cheat sheet you can keep on your phone so you've got it with you whenever you need it, even if you need to play with this 20 times a day. So here's how it works. A, B, C. Accept, breathe, choose. So the first thing is to accept you've been thinking worry thoughts, fear thoughts, anxiety thoughts, rather than pushing them away, rather than trying to rationalize, rather than trying to go cognitive and have a discussion with them, which is simply giving them all of your attention and power. Right in that moment, accept. Because as soon as you accept that thought was there, it presses pause. like a child in a supermarket having a tantrum because mama said no to chocolate again. As soon as you accept the situation, it diffuses that energy. That thought no longer tries to get your attention. It has your full awareness. Now, that doesn't mean you're indulging the thought and diving into the drama story. It means that you are able to let it go. It's to accept it was there without engaging with it. So A is for accept. Now, B is the vital part. You physically cannot flip-flop from negative thinking to positive thinking because your body is fired up with those stress and fear hormones. And those hormones and biochemical reactions create our experience that we call emotions. So if you're fired up with all the negative emotions and you go, oh, but I'm so happy that I have a home to live in. Great, we are so happy we have a home to live in. But right now that stress thought is saying, yeah, okay, great. No, listen to me. And it will fire up even more of those biochemical reactions with something called the backfire effect, yeah? Where you're contradicting it, saying, oh no, Mr. Stress Thought, you're wrong. And Mr. Stress Thought or Mrs. Stress Thought is saying, but I want to prove I'm right. Because the reason I'm here as a stress thought is I want to protect you, and your protection is my number one priority. So if we try to flip from negative to positive, the negative will shout more loudly. If we try and engage with the negative thought and rationalize it, it's not going to be rationalized out. These thoughts aren't rational. They're survival protection thoughts. So the B is like changing gears in a car. You wouldn't go from first gear to reverse without going through neutral. Yeah, it would destroy your gearbox. So the B is going through neutral. The B is where you reset the nervous system. You bring down the sympathetic nervous system, fight, flight, freeze response, and you bring up the parasympathetic nervous system, relaxation response. Excuse me. I got a frog this morning. And in that, what you end up with is being relaxed but alert, and your body's biochemical reactions go back to being in balance, to homeostasis, to neutral. It takes about a minute. And so this is what the breathing does. In the MP3 and the cheat sheet you can download, it guides you through a simple breathing technique you can do to reset your nervous system in under a minute, okay? And this is one of the simplest techniques from the world of meditation. I've been a meditation teacher since 2008, and it's a technique that works every single time. Accept, breathe. The C is choose. When you're in that neutral state, consciously choose to think a thought that brings you a sense of relief, that empowers you, that gives you hope, that helps you to feel in control. It might be a thought you choose about the situation you were having the worry thought about. So that's when you get to the ninja level. Yeah, so you've gone the accept, breathe, back to neutral, choose a positive thought. If that kind of thing isn't coming up for you, which if you're new to this technique, it might not be, choose something very specific in your life right now that you feel grateful for. Not big, airy, fairy kind of, I am so grateful I'm a creative being, because your unconscious mind doesn't know what that means. It doesn't create an emotional response. What you want with the C is to bring a positive emotion in. So you are bringing the positive emotion, biochemical reactions into your body, which help the body to clear out the residue of the cortisol and the adrenaline and all the other stress hormones. And you flood yourself with okayness, moving into actually it's going to be good. Just in that moment. So what you're doing is you're taking, if I'm going to go engineer approved woo-woo on this, you're taking your inner vibration, that tuning of your inner radio station, and you're ramping it up a bit. You're going from the negativity to neutral to ramping it up. The next negative thought comes in, you go from that to neutral and ramp it up. The more often you do this, and the more positive emotion you can connect with and physically feel in the C, in the choose, the more quickly this will rewire the neural pathways in your brain. That means you don't have to go down that negative spiral, that you can stay neutral and calm when the brown stuff hits the fan. It's an absolute key to natural resilience. And I cannot make it simpler than A, B, C. So thousands and thousands of people across the world I've taught this technique to have found it really transformational. The other thing it does is reprogram the filters in your brain to spot what's going well instead of just what's going wrong. So it starts to turn your inner critic into your biggest cheerleader. So that's a topic for another day. To get your ABC process, go to clarejosa.com/press pause. So that's CLAREJOSA.com/press pause. Go and download it now. And if you're in my Natural Resilience membership for the duration of this lockdown and beyond, you'll find you've already got those techniques in your training vault. Pop over to the Facebook group. There's a link there waiting for you so you can go straight to them. If you want to join us for Natural Resilience, I'd be honoured to have you share this journey with us. You get my whole toolkit to help you to develop natural resilience now and for life so that you can ride those waves when they come instead of drowning under them. You can join us at clarejosa.com/natural resilience. If you found this useful today, make sure you go to clarejosa.com/press pause to get your downloads for the ABC process, where I guide you through it in more detail as a guided visualization. And there's the cheat sheet for you. If you know anybody else who might need this episode today or enjoy it, please share it with them, tag them in the comments, and I would love to hear from you. How might being able to turn negative thinking through neutral into positive thinking help you right now? Go play with the technique when you've got the download. Come back and let me know how you get on via the comments.